Hey everyone, Pugs here with just one new review for y'all, because to finish off Season 8, we've got a special episode, Hello Bikini Bottom. Quite the musical episode, wouldn't you say? I pose that as a question, but it's not one because this episode is literally a musical. Alright, well anyway, it's kinda nice that Season 8 ends with a special. It gives that feeling of going out with a bang, something that this season sorely needed given how much people truly forget about it. As always, thank y'all for watching the video today and sticking with me through my coverage of this season. Now, let's just get right into it. And now, we finally arrive at the grand finale of Season 8, Hello Bikini Bottom. I've always liked this special, and so have many, critics, or sponge boomers, if you prefer that term, or Season 1 through 3 dick riders, which is my phrase of choice. No matter the case, this episode is pretty well liked across the board, and I've got some ideas as to why that is. The first reason being that it's a good episode. The other reasons, well, let's see if those become apparent as I go through this review. Hopefully I won't be saying anything unpopular either. So, first of all, I just gotta say it, this episode sounds nice. Now, I mean, this show is already like a 10 out of 10 when it comes to music and sound design, like, it's fantastic, but this episode really just knocked it out of the park when it came to all that. Maybe because it's been so long since I've heard standout music from this show, I don't know. All the background music in this episode is excellent, and I really loved the sound of Squidward's clarinet and SpongeBob's ukulele playing together in harmony. It's just pleasing to the ears. When Squidward's clarinet isn't bad, that is. And yeah, again about the songs, like, they're so good. I like them all. Never Give Up is of course the star of the show, but High Tide Time deserves its flowers as well. The second thing I really like about this episode, which also happens to be from a production standpoint, are the visuals. The visuals in this episode complement the audio quite nicely, and there's just some great art all around here, from the animation being smooth and expressive, to the character designs being just really good, to the gorgeous, gorgeous backgrounds that we're presented with here. Again, Never Give Up has got to be the star of the show when it comes to this, because the backgrounds that are shown during that song are just amazingly and stunningly gorgeous. And since this review, so far, is me just listing things that I like about the episode, let me go ahead and say that the third thing I like in this episode are the characters. Like, everybody is great here, and so are their dynamics. Mr. Krabs' cheapness interacting with Squidward's aspirations and SpongeBob's enthusiasm is a great mix. Patrick also provides some good comedic relief. Well, continued comedic relief, I guess. And everything in this episode is just so funny. Colonel Carper is also a great character. Seriously, just lots of great characters all around. Alright, I guess I can try to go through the episode chronologically now, kind of. We begin with Squidward playing his clarinet, which is then accompanied by SpongeBob with his ukulele. And as I mentioned before, this duet just sounds really, really good. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way, because suddenly Colonel Carper appears on the scene wanting to sign SpongeBob and Squidward onto his label so that he could take them on tour. Yeah, their duet is apparently that good. Now, would I pay to watch a duet between a clarinet and a ukulele? Probably not, unless it was part of a larger show. But hey, maybe this is pop music for Bikini Bottomites. And I love how High Tide Time also functions to move the plot along. Never Give Up does this, as well. Like, yes, that's how you use a musical number. And so during the course of the song, Mr. Krabs appears and hijacks the whole plan and decides that he'll be the one to rake in the dough from Squidward and SpongeBob's tour. I like this as a plot for an episode, and while it's not super high stakes, I think that's a great thing because not every special episode needs to be this high stakes adventure. Sometimes it can just be a plot that needs a little bit more, air to breathe. Anywho, Mr. Krabs attempts to get SpongeBob and Squidward on tour, which fails to comedic effect, leading to the two playing at parties and shopping centers and an old person's home. And that last one was hilarious, with the one guy saying that they were too loud, even when they weren't playing. I also loved the little side plot with Plankton trying to buy the Krusty Krab from the pawn shop, because yes, Mr. Krabs pawned the entire Krusty Krab to raise funds for the concert, because he's short-sighted like that. I gotta love that bit of consistency. SpongeBob's reaction to that bit of information was also hilarious. Eventually, Squidward has enough of this foolishness and decides to leave. In other words, to give up. As you might guess, this is where Never Give Up comes in. And as I mentioned before, this song is very enjoyable. It's fun, it's beautiful visually, and it's a good listen. And it moves the plot along since SpongeBob and Squidward reunite through the power of music, and they even have a crowd. Except the audience wasn't there for them, but rather the meteor shower behind them, as Patrick so helpfully points out. I love that this episode ends with this big win for SpongeBob and Squidward, who even after Patrick points out that little fact, still see this as a win, so I do too. It's kind of like Band Geeks, or a reference to it. Yeah, this is a spotty connection at best, but I'm just gonna convince myself it was intentional. And of course, at the end, Mr. Krabs gets his universal justice, with a long line of people ready to shake him down for all that he stole throughout the episode. I also really like the last gag with Plankton where he was just a second too late to get the Krusty Krab. Better luck next time, ma'am. I really liked Hello Bikini Bottom. This special was hilarious, engaging, wholesome, and made very good use of our guest character, who helped to both shake things up and reinforce the core Krusty Krab trio as a great group for an episode to center around. And I think it's a really good ending to season 8, as it encapsulates a lot of what I like about this season: adventurous, hilarious, good at using characters wisely. But that's all I'll say on that, because of course I'll be expanding on all of that during my Season 8 overview, which will probably be coming sometime the week after this goes live. Probably. Anyway, so, hello Bikini Bottom. This episode is going in my amazing tier, where it comes in with a score of 9.3 out of 10. As always, I'll be ending this video with some closing thoughts of mine. I don't have a whole ton, and honestly I feel bad about how short this is, but I will say that I definitely expanded on this review quite a bit compared to my original written one. Like, it's been a while since I've done an overhaul this expansive, but I felt like it was necessary because my original one was short as hell and barely got into the plot at all. And after it taking so long to get to this episode, no way could I let something like that slide. But this still ended up being pretty short anyway. I feel like all of my reviews have gotten shorter, and I don't know how. Maybe I'm talking faster. I really don't know. Because, I'll be writing, lots of paragraphs. I swear to God, there's, lots of paragraphs. But, I don't know. Anyway, I'm realizing, as I'm here for my closing thoughts, I never talked about why this episode was so popular with Sponge Boomers and Season 1 through 3 Dick Riders. And, well, honestly, I think it's because of the similarity to Band Geeks. I know the similarity is only surface level, but between the episode being music-based and Squidward getting a win, I think people associate this episode with Band Geeks a lot. It's also at a prime spot where it ends a season, making it memorable. I also think that this episode is just really good, which for once these groups of quote-unquote fans have picked up on. So I think all of that is why that specific group of people have latched onto this episode. Moving on, I also just realized that this is the last episode of the show in the 4x3 format, so everyone say goodbye to this style of reviews because from here on out, it's changing to 16:9. And yeah, I think that's everything I've got for y'all today. So with that, I'm gonna close the video out here, and I'll see y'all for the big Season 8 overview.